historical evidence. And there's a legal document which was dated 594 CE. And now we are talking about 1600 years back. And from Bharuch, which is now known as Bharuch region in Gujarat, it contains a number written in a place value format. And it was as early as the 5th century. So we have the place value format in our place. It is so commonplace that that is why we are able to see it in a document. And in an inscription in Gwalior, which was dated to somewhat 933, which is now known as Vikram calendar, and it is equivalent to 876 CE. Now, number 50 and 270 were recorded in a small circle, and they were appearing at the appropriate position for which is the place for 0. So this practice of writing numbers that we are doing today looks like it was in practice some where 1500, 1600 years back in India. And when we talk about ancient Indian mathematicians, the name which we have heard is Bodhaina, Aryabhatiya, Madhva. We have heard these names, but I would like to mention here, we are all aware of Pythagoras theorem. But do we know that this Pythagoras theorem has been pretty, Pythagoras came into existence after, say about 1500 years back. Bodhaina had already given this theorem. And I'm very sorry to say we have studied it as Pythagoras theorem. And now I can see NCERT is coming up with a changed version, and they have rectified it. This was actually a theorem which was given by Bodhaina. And but due to a lot of circumstances, these discoveries suppressed. We don't want to detail of why they were suppressed. We all know. And now when we're talking about Bodhaina, I would like to mention one more thing here. We talk about root 2. Have we heard about the number root 2, which we know as a irrational number? Root 2 actually is, we have all heard this root 2 when we were in our high school. But let's, get started with our about 3,000 years back when this fellow, this Bodhaina was there. And he lived during that time where people were using fire altars for worshipping, and they were using figures like right angle triangle, trapezium, circle, and all these they were drawing. They came to know that they have to draw fire. They have to have a ratio of a side of a triangle, the diagonal of a square, or you can call it as a right angle triangle, the diagonal of a triangle. They wanted to know what is the ratio of this side and the diagonal. It was a constant quantity, but at that time they did not know it, but we know it because our teacher has taught that this is root 2, and this root 2 is so irrational that it keeps on going, and when we solve it, it is unending number. And at that time it sounded so irrational to us, but now this Bodhaina had calculated. There was a shloka which was given by Bodhaina, and he gave some calculation which came out to be like 577 divided by 408. If you have your calculators, you try to do it. And at that time he did not have the calculators, so hats off to him. He did a lot of calculations, and he came up with calculation 577 divided by 408, and the value of root 2 came out to be exactly what we see it in our calculator now. It came out to be 5. This was correct. And then when he gave Bodhaina theorem, it was known as Bhuja Koti Karna Nyaya theorem, which is now known as Pythagoras theorem. I would like to repeat this name. This is known as Bhuja Koti Karna Nyaya theorem. And exactly he had done draw a triangle, and then there are two sides and a diagonal also. And then he calculated everything, and he told that the sum square of the largest side, that is your diagonal, is equal to the square of the other two sides. If we have C as a diagonal, A as one side, and B as another side, so in this right angle triangle, C square is equal to A square plus B square. And that was the exact theorem which was given by Bodhayana, and he gave a known name as Bhuja Koti Karna Nyaya. And when I was talking about the fire altars, these are the shapes of the fire altars. See, the first shape is basically known as Siddhi, and this is kind of a falcon shape. And you would be wondering, what all shapes they have used. They have used triangle, they have used a square, they have used a trapezium, they have used a rectangle also, and to our surprise, this falcon-shaped Sena Chiti was made up of 200 bricks. And during that time, when they were having worships and they were using these fire altars, this number of bricks used to be same. It is not that you can change the size or you can change the size of the brick. So you can measure it now how strong our mathematics was then 3000 years back. And mind it, all of you must know that, these Sena Chiti is there. Then we have this second one is a shape of a tortoise is known as Kurma Chiti. And the third one is in the shape of a Rath Chakra is a wheel, chariot wheel. And the fourth one is a Grahapatya, which is in a shape of a square shape. And this is not all. There were almost approximately 90 shapes of the fire altars which were used that time. So our mathematics was very, very strong, and that is why the motivation behind calculating the value of root 2 by Bodhayana and discovery of Pythagoras theorem, which was Bhuja Koti Karna Nyaya theorem, was these fire altars, because we wanted to have the fixed shape here, fixed shape bricks there. So that is why they wanted to find out the constant ratio. So that is why he invented root 2 and the Pythagoras theorem. So we must appreciate how strong our mathematics was. Now let's come to some legacy of, Indian legacy of large number. We are all aware, I must, tell you that, India's greatest contribution to the world lies here. In some ways, the rest of the world must be grateful to India for what it has contributed. Now let us see how. Let us first start with our basis for all these things when we want to appreciate the big numbers. Let's prepare a bedrock of actually these big numbers were the bedrock of scientific discoveries. And let us look at few data points. Let's understand, we are all aware of velocity of light. Velocity of light is 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. That means 3 followed by 8 zeros, right? And if we discuss about Roman numerals, we are all aware of Roman numerals. We write 1, 2, and then, for standard 5, we write V, and then we have C for 100, and then we have M, which is milli, is for 1000. And Roman have this M as the highest number, that is 1000 only, which is 1 followed by 3 zeros. Now you see, if we have to write velocity of light 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second, which is 3 followed by 8 zeros. So how many times do we have to write this M? If we are trying to write it with Roman M, Roman milli, you can see we have to write 300,000 times we have to write this M. Just write 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. You can see the above figure here we have written 3 into 10 raised to power 8 so simply. And if we have to write it in the Roman number, we have to write 300,000 times M, because their M is the biggest. M is the biggest number they have. Now let's take another example. Let's talk about Avogadro number. I hope you're all aware of this Avogadro number. We have studied in our high standard. This is 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23. Approximately, this means 6 followed by 23 zeros. Now, if we have to write this using Roman, can you guess how many M's do we have to write? I would suggest you not to go into the detail. There will be lot of, I mean, so many M's we will have to write. For this followed by 8 zeros, we have to write 300,000 times M. Now we have 23 zeros, we will have to write so many M's. Let's not go into details. So the beauty of our Indian mathematics is we write it with a place value. We have not only given the zero, we have given the place value to the word. So that's the beauty of our Indian mathematics. And we don't have to say about this. There is Laplace says about it, Rumi says about it, and they say that it is not the mathematics they have given the place value. They have different. This country has different states. In different states, they have a different language, and in different language, they have different symbols to represent. So that's the beauty of mathematics, Indian mathematics. Now we'll be little bit about the large numbers, how large number we can think of. We'll be talking about the Lakshana. We'll be talking about Dvajagravati, which is 10 raised to power 421. This is the biggest number. We see the reference of this in Lalit Vistara in our, I'll tell you shortly. And these numbers, we even don't see it right now. We'll be talking about 10 raised to power 17, which is Praradha. And a lot of numbers we'll be talking about. Now, if we are talking about big numbers, I would like to draw your attention. Is there any problem with the volume or the audio? Kindly let me know.
Sometimes there is a disturbance,
Yes,
madam.
ma'am.
Sorry.
It's
Is it
breaking.
clear now?
It's breaking.
Is it clear
Yes,
now?
ma'am.
All right. So let's proceed. We are talking about Gautam Buddha and his biographical Lalit Vistara, where you find Gautam Buddha when he was Prince Siddharth, and he was reading out the numbers from Koti. The Koti is number 10 raised to power 7. And, this episode is about his Swayamvar. And this is narrated in Lalit Vistar, where it is mentioned that when Siddhartha, son of Shuddhodhan, are we there?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So it is 2500 years back. Siddhartha, son, was to marry Yashodhara, and he was subjected to Swayamvar. And there was one mathematician with the name Arjuna. Arjuna asked Siddhartha to express numbers beyond 10 raised to power 7, that is Koti. And he said, you have to tell the numbers in the multiples of 100. And in his reply to this question, Siddhartha went up to the number 10 raised to power 53. And he spelled out all the unique names to each number he uttered. For example, 10 raised to power 53 was Talakshana. And starting from Koti, the series went up to Talakshana, constituted 23 levels. And the astonishing part was, this conversation was when Siddhartha mentioned that this number, the Lakshana, forms a part of one counting system, and there are 8 more counting systems. So there is a formula which he gave, and the formula is something like this. He said 10 raised to power 7 plus 46 into n into 10 raised to power 2 raised to power 23. I would like to tell there is a working rule. When we have 10 raised to power a raised to power b, this gives us the value 10 raised to power ab. And when you have it for A, A raised to the power D, this gives us plus B. The numbers are added. So here what happened, he said, this is the one formula, and the Lakshana makes the part one counting system, but eight more counting systems. There are two counting systems. And how does he calculate the value? He says when we put the value n is equal to 0, you see this formula, we have the value of n is n plus 46 into 0 is 7 into n raised to power 2 into 23. So when we have
Ma'am,
10 is
sorry for
2
interruption.
into 20.
Couldn't hear properly.
All
Noise
right, I
problem.
repeat.
Couldn't hear
Can
properly.
you?
Yes, ma'am. Please repeat. Couldn't hear properly, ma'am.
I repeat.
Mm.
You can hear me now.
Your audio copy and broken. We are not able to hear you properly. And if you have a chance, you may have to restart from that working room because that's where we lost you. It's really
All right.
broken. We can't hear
All
you.
right. Can you hear me now?
No, ma'am.